everyone. In my second video today, I'm going to talk to you about a really daring thing I did last Thursday, which was I went to Portsmouth on my own. Now, I've talked about this before in another video when I was talking about my first trip to Portsmouth, which was a really big epic challenge for me. But I decided to go again because I so much enjoyed the first visit. So I thought, I'd love to go and do it again. So I did a lot of planning and a lot of prior research, which again took me a good week or so to really work out, exactly where I was going, what train I was going to catch, when I was going to get back, all those details. It has to be very, very rigorous. And this time I decided to go somewhere different because I think, as I've mentioned elsewhere, although I do really need routine and I really need structure and I hate unexpected changes and I need to be in control at all times, and that's the source of major anxiety for me and constant adrenaline that people don't see because I'm very good at keeping it under wraps and I'm quite a private person, but it's there all the time. It's constant tension and it's constant stress. But at the same time, I do quite like variety as long as it's within that safety net of routine. So this time I decided to go somewhere different, to the Natural History Museum in Portsmouth, which I've never been to before. So I got the train. I had to stand up on the train because of my OCD around germs and contamination, and I always feel, oh my god, have I got the allergy, am I going to get ill, sort of OCD thoughts and people, germs, yeah. So I stood up, and also I like my space, I don't like people getting too close to me. So going on trains is always a little bit anxiety provoking, but I forced myself to do it, because willpower. I've got lots of willpower. So stayed up on the train. I was feeling a little bit anxious and a little bit dazed, and often, because I find it really hard to work out how I'm feeling, and anxiety is my constant state. I don't know any other state other than anxiety. I sometimes feel a little bit queasy or a little bit and then my health anxiety kicks in and I think, shit, am I going to be sick or something? But then afterwards I realised actually no, that was anxiety, but it takes really a while to realise that, which is silly because I've had these experiences so many times now. I should really by now know it's anxiety, but whenever I'm in that situation I still think there's something physically wrong. But it was actually because I was stressed because I was on the train, and as soon as I was off the train, that feeling went and I felt fine. And then I got all this energy, and I ploughed along down the road, walking really, really fast because I'm a very energetic person. I went straight into Gun Wharf, because I was trying to make a beeline to the seafront, and I passed Carluccio's, and this is when I got really very, very excited because I noticed it had a shop, and so I went inside because food happens to be one of my major interests, and I was really excited because I noticed there was a jar of sauce vongole, which I've been looking for ages. Now, sauce vongole is clams in tomato sauce, and I've got a good food pasta book which contains a recipe for clams in tomato sauce, spaghetti with sauce vongole. So that made me excited. So I picked up the jar, and I also picked up a jar of green olives and anchovy pesto. These were all new. Now this is really good for me because not that long ago I would never have done this because I had this real fear. I sort of connected to my OCDs around trying different brands, the great unknown. I'm worried about, is it going to make me ill, is it going to, because I don't know this brand. But I've kind of pretty much overcome that one. I mean, there's still some areas that I need to carry on working on, but I pretty much have overcome that fear through the support I receive, which is really fantastic, and also my own motivation. And because, as I say, food happens to be one of my special interests, and when something's a special interest, it kind of motivates me to overcome my fears, which is good. And I'm actually getting a lot better now at trying new things. In actual fact, as I say, I do like variety with my food. When it comes down to special interests, I have this real need, it's like this almost obsessive need to try as many, many different things of that interest as possible so that I can understand everything to do with that interest. It's kind of like a form of collection, really. I collect food. I need to try as many different food products as possible, and so I'm always looking for new products to try, and I get really excited. So I got these two jars, and as I say, I was feeling on cloud nine, really excited. So because I can now go and, I haven't actually tried the clam sauce yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it. And then I left Carluccio's, and then I carried on walking along the seafront, and I was really hyper and really full of energy because I get like that. And also I just felt this great need to fit everything into the day, so I was a little bit concerned because I needed to fit in the Natural History Museum and Portsmouth and Southsea shops as well, so I was a little bit concerned in case I wouldn't be able to fit everything in. So I really did walk really fast along the seafront. I was a bit scared because I have a really severe dog phobia, so I had to avoid quite a number of dogs. I'll talk about this in another video. Maybe I'll do a whole video on phobias and anxieties and stuff, but I do have this really severe dog phobia, mainly because they're unpredictable and I don't know what you're going to do. Even though I had my own dog when I was a child, but it doesn't stop me being scared of other people's dogs. So I did manage to get to the Natural History Museum eventually after taking quite a number of detours and getting a little bit stressed and panicky at times, but I kept under control, and I was really pleased to make it there. The Natural History Museum is 100% free. It's quite a small museum, but it was quite interesting and I took lots of photos. When I was a child, I used to have to look at every single object in a museum in great detail, and I was not happy until I'd seen every single object. So I could spend ages in museums. I'm not quite as bad as that now. I do still have this need to look at most things in a museum, but it doesn't stress me out so much if I have to miss something. So yeah, I'm a lot better than I used to be, but I still kind of like to look at things and take it all in. And that did stress me when some people came into the museum. It was kids, and as soon as you get people, you get noise, and I find it really, really difficult to focus when there's any noise, when I'm trying to do anything, to do with my brain, like thinking. I find it really, really hard. So consequently, I had to like sway a bit like that as I was reading, and I have to kind of like whisper the words out because otherwise I just can't focus, and that makes me quite tense. I went upstairs and there's a very interesting little bit about the bee life cycle, the life cycle of a bee, there's a bit about the butterfly life cycle, so it's really, really interesting. Then I left and I walked back to Portsmouth and Southsea along the seafront, and it all went okay, and then I got the train to Portsmouth and Southsea. And in Portsmouth and Southsea, I had to go and visit The Works and H&M. These are two of my favourite shops, so I wasn't happy until I'd been to both. I went to The Works first of all, and I bought a book from The Works, a book all about the neurology science behind reading, so I thought that's fascinating considering reading is one of my big areas and what I spend a lot of my time doing. I thought, it'd be quite interesting to actually find out the mechanics behind reading. I did get quite stressed when I went in The Works because it was quite busy and there were lots and lots of people, but when my interests come into play, that kind of gives me the determination and motivation to kind of stay it out even if I'm getting a bit stressed. So interests kind of come to my rescue, which is quite good. I think that's one of the positives about being autistic for me, is that my interests do kind of help me overcome some of my anxieties. So even though it was noisy and busy and I was getting stressed, I stayed out and kind of just chewed my lip and like stared at the floor and stoically put up with it until I got my book. Then I went out and I went to H&M. As I'll talk about elsewhere, clothes are another one of my special interests, but I get kind of a little bit obsessed with clothes at the same time, and they also cause anxiety. But I had a look around H&M, put up with the noise, again for the sake of my interest, even though noise is normally really, really very stressful, but when I'm interested, it's kind of like I'm mono-focused on my interest, so I can kind of block things out a bit better. But I only stayed a short time because it was not, a great sensory environment really. And I also went into Debenhams, which I've never been, because we don't have a Debenhams in Chichester, so that was interesting, because I do like exploring different shops and stuff. And then I went home. So it was a really, really good day. And as I say, for a non-autistic, you might think, so what? It's not a big deal. For me, it's almost like equivalent of climbing Mount Everest in terms of the preparation, the psyching myself up, and the anxiety that's involved. I can't do this every week because it is mentally and physically exhausting. But I am hoping to try and get out about as much as possible on my own, say once a fortnight, possibly, once a month. But even if I manage to do it once a month, it's still really, really good and a lot better than what I used to be when I never went anywhere on my own. So I think I am kind of making massive progress here, getting a lot more confident. And that's all thanks to the amazing support I receive from Lima, Low Intensity Autism Management, which in West Sussex alongside Autism and Autism Sussex are absolutely fantastic. They've really, really supported me, and they've really, I feel, helped motivate me and encourage me. And that support's been invaluable. So thanks to them. And so I was really, really pleased. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you.